Alright, today we are looking at the Marvel Legends Eternals figures. Why am I looking at these figures that came out over a year ago for a movie that was lukewarmly welcomed? Well, nobody bought these figures, so they've been clearanced out for dirt cheap. So I managed to score all of them for like under $10 each, which is a great deal for figures nowadays. I think the Target exclusive Thena figure was the only one I ended up paying full price for. And in all honesty, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was pretty good, so I don't mind getting all of this for super cheap. But even when GameStop has them for less than $5 each, are they still worth it? Let's open them up and find out. And here we have the Marvel Legends Eternals figures. And I don't know if I've ever seen a more varying level of quality from a line of figures since I did opening these up. Now, I did like the movie. I thought it was alright. It's not the worst thing to come out of the MCU. I thought it was more of an interesting character piece that wasn't all explosions and big CGI messes, which did get to that at the end. And I thought it was an interesting enough movie. Now, looking at these figures a year after the movie came out, I'm kind of hard-pressed to remember a lot of details about these characters, because they were kind of forgettable. And most toy buyers seem to think so too, because these did not sell at all. They peg warmed on the shelf, kept a lot of more newer figures from getting put out in stores, and eventually these all made their ways to clearance. Now, these are probably going to show up in more discount stores like Five Below or Ollie's, so even though GameStop currently has them clearanced out for like less than $5 each, Target's got them clearanced out, Walmart's kind of stubbornly refusing to clearance them any lower than $17. You still won't be too hard-pressed to find a pretty good deal and getting these all for stupid cheap. The only one that probably is any trouble is the Thena Angelina Jolie figure from Target. That one was the only one I bought full price because occasionally Target exclusives are kind of hard to get a hold of. And this one actually is probably my favorite out of them. The likeness is great. A lot of the likenesses are really good, but this one really looks like Angelina Jolie. I'm not a big fan of the way her knee articulation works with that piece of armor in front of it. It just kind of looks a little odd to me. And her hands don't really hold these weapons too well. It's a little difficult to get them to hang on to the handles. I'm not really sure what happened with that. I think there needed to be a different mold done with the hands. And the weapons aren't entirely screen accurate either to what her powers consisted of. I think it's the best they could do with the format they were given, but again, not screen accurate. Now, as I said, a lot of the sculpts are pretty solid. Kingo's really good, Druig's really good. The worst one is obviously Sprite. She looks kind of like when the orphan revealed herself to be a 40-year-old woman. It just is creepy. The rest of the sculpts are okay. They're not bad. They're not great. But there's definitely a spectrum, with Sprite being at the very end of being poor, and probably either Druid or Thena being more towards the end. There are also quite a few quality control issues here. I've got marks on a couple of figures' faces. I've got joints that aren't properly connected in the feet. Even though I did pay pretty cheap for these figures, I kind of got, what was picked over and what was left. Still would have been nice if everything was in good quality, but it's what you get. You either wait and pay super cheap or pay more and get, maybe better quality. Now, the last figure I got from this line was this deluxe Kro, and I think he looks pretty cool. There's some nice little paint details with the coloring and his face and all the tentacles and stuff. I think he's kind of awesome, and he's what a deluxe figure should be. He's cool, he's got some good size to him, lots of good extra parts and plastic. He's pretty neat. I'm glad I got him for a fair price, and if you can find him, he's worth picking up. Now, overall, I think this wave failed because, it was from a movie that wasn't really targeted towards kids, so kids weren't really after these figures to buy them, and there's not really a lot of playability with these figures because a lot of their powers stem from things you can't really see. They're super fast, they can transform the molecular properties of things, they can control people's minds, they can shapeshift. It's stuff that doesn't give you very many options as far as accessories. So that's how we ended up with a line that mostly just comes with a bunch of extra hands. Movie didn't really appeal to kids, and it didn't really appeal that much to adults either. Like I said, I even enjoyed the movie, but I can't even remember how this villain dies. So that means adult collectors weren't buying this series either. But luckily, if you played the waiting game and you enjoy these figures, then you can probably get them all now if you're in a town that's got a bunch of GameStops kind of spread out like we have here in Atlanta. You could probably find the whole wave in an afternoon. I don't hate these figures, most of them, and I'm glad I got them for as cheap as I did. I think it was a great deal and a great steal, and it made me honestly want to watch the movie again, so I may just put it on Disney Plus and check it out. Alright, next time, and for my kind of last for a little bit of a break video as I do the process of moving out, I'm going to be unboxing the Mega Construct Pokemon Tyranitar set. Looks awesome, and I'm hoping for something better after that kind of mediocre Riolu Evolution set. And hopefully this is a return to form for Mega Construct's Pokemon line. Until then, stay safe, happy hunting.